Welcome to this look at the Farming Simulator 25 new build mode features with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Farming Simulator 25. This guide to look at, I'm always very, my look at videos are going into detail. They're not full necessary tutorials. If you've watched any of my stuff before, you know how this works. In this episode, in this video, we're going to be having a look at the new build mode, the menus, how it looks, what's different, what stands out, what features of Giants changed for the better or worse. I think on this one, pretty much everything better. There's a couple of things, there's some quirks and tweaks and things. That's why I want to do this video, because not everything is obvious or straightforward. So should we crack right along? Entering build mode is the same as it has been for a long time. It depends which method you use, but I've always just done L1 and the big pad, D-pad on my controller brings us into our build mode. And we've got our different sections on the left-hand side, big open area on the right-hand side. It's clearer, it's crisper, it's cleaner. I like it. If we start at the top with our buildings, sheds, that kind of thing, you'll see we've got the sheds there, then we've got factories there, but there's other subsections within those. We've got our animals, we've got our fences, and then we've got our sculpting. So the sections are slightly different. If we come across onto this one and up to the top, we've got under this heading, the top one, the buildings, we've got sheds, we've got silos, silo extensions, constructables, that's the new one, which is very cool. We've got containers, which we've had before, and we've got tools, and we've got farmhouses. Now, some of those are very familiar. What's within those is a little bit different as well. So we come back out of there and we go down to the next one. So we've got under this subheading, we've got factories, selling points, greenhouses, cultivation and generators. Again, the same sections we had on the previous build mode, just a slightly different layout. And again, there are some little tweaks and things we need to be aware of, and some additions and stuff put in which you'd expect for a new version of the game. Then we've got our cows, well, our animals should I say. Now this video is not on building customizable animal pens. This is just showing you the build mode and the tweaks and changes. I will show you a little bit, but I'm not going to go into the full blown, because that will be a video in its own right, because there's a whole load more that comes with that as well, which is actually quite fascinating. But we've got cows, we've got our horses, pigs, sheep, chickens, bees and others, which is our dog. So that's your animals section. Go back to start on that, and then if we go to our fences, now this is where things have changed quite a bit as well, and again we'll have a look at this in detail. Fence section, lights and others. Again, we've had that section before with some tweaks. Actually, I can go right across, kind of. Okay, keep going back on that menu. And then we've got our build mode, our landscaping mode. That really hasn't changed. We've got our raise and lower. We've got our raise and lower. We've got our level. We've got our slope, and we've got our soften, which we've had before. Advice, as always, save your game first before you start mucking around with the sculpting tools. I mean, to be fair, I would do it before you start doing anything. Especially with the new version of the game, there might be something that's different, a tweak, a change, an option you've missed, or an option you did, by accident, and decide you don't want it. Save your game, come back out. I never have auto save on, because the worst thing you can do is you play something, auto save kicks in, and then you're stuck. So I always turn auto save off. That's just me personally. So go back up to the top on there. Now on these menus, if you get to the bottom of the menu and go down again, it takes you back up to the top. So you don't have to, when you get to the bottom of menu, you haven't got to go all the way back up to the top again. If you just press down again, it takes you back up to the top. We've got our sculpting, we've got our painting with our paint textures, we've got our trees, and we've got our plants. And again, there are some changes within these. So what we're going to do, let's come back up to the top and have a look, shall we, at some of the changes that we've got within this. So our menu stuff's all there, and the box down the bottom says open wood garage to store your vehicles and tools. Slot count on that is 3. You might also notice, depends how many of my videos you've watched so far, that says 1,239 out of 3,500. PlayStation 5 on FS22 had 4,400 slots available. They have reduced the slot count. Capacity for mod storage is still the same, but the slot count's reduced. I mean, I haven't had many Let's Plays I've been on where I've got close to that. Even when I did my American Falls one, my Apocalypse Farms, and I put in tons of stuff on that, I don't think I got anywhere near. But anyway, it has been reduced, just so you're aware. So, for example, we now come down and we pick, let's just go for this one. you might have noticed, so we've got our barn, we've got our building, whatever it might be. Now, not all of them will have this, but some will, and it's worth just pausing and having a look at the menu that's just above the building. We get our place item, toggle free mode on and off, so depending if there's something there and it's in the way and that kind of thing. Rotate our item, zoom camera in and out. We've got toggle snapping, then we've got customize. So rather than have 4 sheds that have slightly different options, if I press R3 now, it brings up another menu. So we've got the option of solar panels, yes or no, and then we've got change of our colour. If we press X to change, brings us into this menu. We can change the colour of our barn. So and that's not on all of them. Some of them will have solar panel options, some of them will have colour options, some have both, some have none. Have a look for that customization, and if it gives you option for R3. Now, there have been a couple I've checked that have said customization. When I've clicked on it, nothing has been in the menu, so potentially that might be upcoming. There may be an update and some of these things might get tweaked or changed. It might have just been missed in the original build for this. We don't know. Anyway, that being said, so we come out of there. Let's try on that one there. Is that got customized as well? It has, yes. This one, solar panels, yes or no, but doesn't have any other options. And then we go down, we've got all different barns, buildings, shapes and sizes. Have a look through, find something you like, and then obviously check to see whether you've got an option for customization and what that customization may be. There are some really nice new additions in here, ones that will fit Hutan Pantai more than the others, but again, there are going to be mod maps coming out galore. You know what it was like on FS22. There'll be something for everyone. So if we get to the bottom of that menu, go down, takes us back up to the top again. Silos next, and again, we got some options. If I click on this one, oh, that one doesn't have an option. I thought we had a colour option, but I think that's the red barn thing. And it tells you the details. Silos used to store crops, 150,000 litre on that one. That one, 400,000. We'll get our Unias, the Farmer 400s. We've got the same ones we had previously. I don't think, again, just double check. Then we go up to the real big boys again. The NL 1622 2000, 6000, and the 16,000, which is 16 million litres. Those are all, because they're standard base game stuff, standard crop types, including the new crop types in game, but they're not multi-fruits because obviously that's not a thing yet. Hayloft, 250,000 litres. So these things are pretty much standard, what we're kind of used to. Again, with this one, these are 90 degrees only, not full rotation, and there's no option for any customization on those. Come down and then up again. Silo extensions, same options, again just an extension you can place next to it. We'll get our water tank as well, 5,000 litres. Let's go down to the bottom of that. Next one along, constructible. So this is where things are very new, very different. Let's go down to the menu. So we've got all of these, and they're not expensive. They're not expensive because you've got to bring products to them. So you're basically buying a building site. Now there is another constructibles menu we're going to have a look at in a little while as well. So let's just go for, let's go for this, the first one. There. So if we get that, and when you go to place it, there's no option for customization because when you do that and come out, you get a building site. When you get your building site and you go over to it, bottom right, it will tell you what needs to be bought for the next phase of construction. So whether you're doing various different productions or on the map, if you've watched any of the map tours, I've done a map tour on Hutan Pantai and a map tour here on Riverbend Springs. There's a warehouse on each map. You can actually go and buy pallets. So if you don't want to go and have the hassle, however you want to look at it, of having productions running, you can just go and buy the pallets. If you've got money, you can. So bottom right, it will now say buildable log cabin. What's required at the moment? Wood beams, planks long and planks. When those have been brought, the same as it was on Silver Run with the roller coaster, the piano building, the boat building, and gradually your farmhouse will be built. And there are sheds and stuff as well. And again, this is not a video on the buildables. I'm going to do a separate video on the construction process and bringing stuff to it and seeing a building being completely made. Obviously not every single building, but I will do a video on one of those. Back to our build mode. So that's our constructibles. Containers are pretty much the same as they have been before with regard to capacities and what they do. That's fairly straightforward. All very lovely. Tools is the same. We've got our weather station, we've got our jet wash. I think the vehicle workshop has got some customization on that. I think it's solar panels. R3, solar panels, yes or no. Again, I'm not going to go through every single one, but just so you're aware, always have a look. Don't just place it because you got used to placing it on 22 and then suddenly realise, oh, I could have done whatever. What I'm surprised about. I mean, what I like as well is if you look down there where it says vehicle workshop, I've already said it shows you the slot count. It tells you your slot count. So if you're not sure, you haven't got to keep coming in and out of menus. That's brilliant. I like that as an option. What was I going to say? There was a negative I was going to point out. Can't remember what it was. It will come back to me probably. Oh yeah, the solar panels. So there, for example, if we've come out of this menu and we click on that one, the vehicle workshop, and it does say you can customise your machinery without the need for a paid mechanic. It doesn't say that you can customise it until you go onto it, but some do, some don't. But if you have the option for solar panels, it doesn't tell you in these menus what the income will be per month for the solar panels. That, I think, needs to be added in. That needs to be a thing that if you do decide to go for the option, I'll check it again. If we go to our customise, solar panels, if we're looking on that menu, if I go across, it says an extra 12,500 for those solar panels, but nowhere on that menu does it tell you what it would be. What it needs is just under there where we put yes, 12,500, it should tell you what your monthly income will be on those solar panels. I think, personally. Just my own opinion. Come out of there. So we're going to go from there to farmhouses, and this is fairly straightforward as well. Sorry, farmhouses, whole load to choose from, all different sorts, and these are just plug and play. If you don't want to build your own farmhouse or barn or whatever, you can just place them. They've got their sleep trigger and they've got wardrobe triggers on them. So, and there's quite a few to choose from, a larger selection than we had before. Very nice indeed. Next up then, the next one down, our factories menu. We've got our biogas plants. We've got the various different new productions as well. I say new productions. We've got some new productions, but we've got the various different buildings here, which is nice. So bakery, cement factory is a new one. We click on that. That's the big one. But what's cool about these menus as well, which I really like, is come out of there, go to the bakery. That's quite a nice looking building as well. Lovely detailing on these. Very, very cool indeed. If we come off of that and go down, dairy, cereal factory. Like I say, a lot of this stuff is what we're used to, different design buildings. If you want to know about the recipes and stuff for those, I'll show you a different menu in a moment for the factories, if I remember. I might not. But what's cool, in the new version of the game, you've got your big factories, your big facilities, but if you come further down the menus, you get to, I mean, look at some of the prices of these. They're up there. The Cooper for barrel making, rope maker, the tailor shop. What else have we got here as well? Tailor shop, debris crusher. There's some slightly different debris crusher buildings, which I like as well, and sugar mills and spinneries. But if we come further down, we get to these. So these are more your cottage industry versions of the same thing. So you can have your preserved food factory, you can have carpentry, grain mill, dairy, grape processing unit, oil mill. So all of those productions, you can have a spinnery and sawmill. The sawmill, 36 grand. And it's a small version you can place on your farm, so have it as more of a small. Now the recipes aren't as big, as fast as you would expect from the larger factories, but it gives you the option to get into doing these productions without spending hundreds of thousands, which is brilliant. There's no customization options on these, but I like the fact that they've got these in here as cheaper alternatives. That's a really cool added feature and a new thing for FS22, FS25 that I really like. Selling points. Again, we've got some nice different ones here. For example, look, that one there, debris crusher. Little mini debris crusher. Hasn't got to be a massive one. Same with the biomass heating plant. We've got the larger ones as well. We've got the farmers' kiosks. Big farmers' kiosk and the farmers' market in there on sell points. So, not all massive stuff. The piano manufacturer comes from Zalonka. That's back in, and you can have that in wherever you want. If we go back up to the top, and greenhouses. Greenhouses, very different now. So we've got a greenhouse for rice saplings. We've seen a lot of those. If you watched any of the videos, any of the stuff that's been out, the trailers and people's early access content. So if you're going to do rice fields, you can go and buy rice saplings, but if you want to create your own, you can have a greenhouse for doing rice saplings. Come out of there, we've then got our new greenhouses, which have got the new stuff in them. Our chili peppers, spring onions. These have got a new type of cabbage as well, and garlic in them, which is absolutely brilliant. So we can place one. So we've got the small tarp greenhouse, the medium tarp greenhouse, and the large tarp. 9 grand, 18 grand, and 36 grand. I don't think these have got any customised option on them, not that I'm aware of. Then we come on to the glass versions. So same thing, small glass, medium glass, large glass, and then we've got the mushroom greenhouse, small, medium and large. I'm going to place one of those down just to show you it. And let's go with, doesn't really, we'll go for us, not that one, sorry. There we go. Let's just whiz over and have a look in those. Again, just because it's new stuff and I think it's very cool. These only require water. And you'll see the products in here, which is very cool. So we go, chili peppers, garlic, lettuce, Napa cabbage. There you go. Spring onion, strawberries, tomatoes. And it shows you the recipes there, all good. But unlike FS22, where most of the time if you had a new facility or a new building, you'd have to kind of buy it and check it to see what the recipes were and how it all worked, unless the modder or in the map screens it had been put in for you. So gnocchi and oyster mushroom, again, just water in. The recipes 1 water to 3 oyster mushroom, 1 water to 5 gnocchi. So you can check all the recipes, but depending on the map you're on, if we come into, which menu was it? This one, options, and we go, oh, they're on our productions now. So this menu is a different menu, but you've got here, we've got the ones that we own, and then if you go across one there, it tells you all the available productions on the map. So what you can do, you can have a look there and you can see what the recipes and stuff are for the ones that are available. Now, I won't have all of them, it depends on the map you're on, that kind of stuff, and moving forward that'll be the same as well. But you can, at least from this regard for the base game, you can check out the recipes and stuff before you buy something, and also what products and stuff they do. So I like that as an option. That's those 2 greenhouses. Let's come back into here. So we've had a quick look at the greenhouses. Go on to cultivation now. We've got our grapevine, we've got our olive groves, same as before, and then rice fields. Now again, this is not a video on creating a rice field. I'm going to go into rice in a little bit more detail at some point. However, when you get to this is a case of start new field, press X, and then you can create your rice field. Any shape, and you notice there that will go to a triangle automatically if you want to. Go back to there. It will gradually adjust and change its shape depending on where you've gone to. If I decide I'm happy with that, I can finish by pressing square. Change placement height. You might want to come up if it's on a hill, that kind of stuff. Although, how do I get this to go back down? So go back to, well, that's insane. Oh yeah, it's just, it doesn't show you the other side of the D-pad. Yeah, just left on the D-pad brings it back down again to ground level. I don't want it too low. Let's go there. And if we press that, it automatically makes our rice field, rice paddy, puts the pump in, ready for filling, ready for liming, fertilising, whatever you're going to do first. Now, as far as removing, if we go to remove, demolish, I think we have to go to there. Remove the field. Did we do it? Oh, that's interesting. Why did that not remove then? Oh, there we go. So it removes it, flattens it back out a little bit. You might have to come along and level it. You might have to regrass it or replow it, whatever, but you can remove them fairly straightforward. So that's under your cultivation. Let's go there. And then we've got our generators again, fairly standard. Now, where was it? It was on this one. We had a generator one, which really threw me. Here we go. This one says customize. If I press R3, there's no configuration options. So I'm not sure about that one. Now, when it says at the bottom there, 0 to 8,928 a month, I think that's to do with maximum it will be, but I think these now work on the solar collectors on how much sunlight there is. So depending on the time of year as well, depending on whether it's a cloudy day or not. So that's the maximum you can earn, but the fact it says 0, you might have some cloudy days and not earn anything. So I think it's the same with the wind turbines as well. Let's click on one of those. We don't want to go for the massive one. That one there, yeah, 0 to 13,920 a month. These don't have customization options. You place them as they are. That's our generators, and that's the next set. Now, I suppose the one everyone's been waiting for. Again, I'm not going to go deep dive onto this. Sorry, back into there. Let's go to our pastures. Now, we have to be careful here. So all our various different animals, and this is not on the buildable pastures, but I will just quickly show you, for example, for the cows. Here's our cow pen, and if I put it down like that, I can just put it down like that. Happy as Larry. No problem at all. If I click to place, it now gives me an option. Do I want to customize the fence? If I say yes, it takes away that thing, and then I can then build my own fence wherever I want to build it, whatever size to follow a field. I would suggest you put your pen bits and your dialog box at the edge of the field, You can put it in the middle because you can remove bits afterwards. I'm just going to just very quickly put this in. Again, this is not a guide to animal pens because I want to do a separate one on that because it's going to be a bit of a, you know, it will be a bit of a change. Get back to there, do that. Then it gives you the option, do you want to plant the meadow for the cow pasture? So that puts meadow grass in, which will then now grow, but I think that takes another month before that grows properly for the animals to graze on. If I come out of there now, I think that originally the pasture said it held 7. Now, depending on the size of the pasture will depend how many animals can be put in it. So if we click on that now, that says 3, not 7, because I've made it smaller. So 0 out of 3. So that pen is smaller than the standard one, so I can put less animals in it. Back to our build mode. If we go to enter demolition mode by pressing triangle, what should happen now? Why is it not doing it? Ah, that's curious. Oh, there we go. If I can just get it just right. There we go. So you can actually remove. So even though I've built it, and it's the same with the main pastures as well, I can remove sections of fence. So what you can do, if you wanted to, if you'd rather have them free roaming, if you want them to just sort of, you'd still have the same size pen. It will still only say it will do 3. But if you wanted to do this to the size of a field, and then take the fencing out, you can have it like that. So you just have that there, and then the animals will graze, so it looks like they're more sort of free roaming. I like that as an option. That's cool. That's on some of the other ones. Now, moving on to these. For example, this one here, 85 grand, be careful. The same with the pastures, especially with the cows. That one says, this is a breeding barn, therefore milk production is not possible. The pasture of this building can be customised. We know that, we've just seen it. The next one along, this one's the same thing. This is a breeding barn. Be careful when you're placing these. These one, that's a breeding barn as well. This one can be customised and will do milk. Pasture of this can be customised. Yeah, there's, so you know, you've got a bit of tweaking for various different ones, but just be wary of placing one that's just for breeding and not for production. Again, I'm going to do a deep dive on the actual animal pens in more detail. I think that definitely needs to be done. Same with the horses. I mean, the horses are, I mean, they're supposed to keep horses. They're not producing anything in particular. We can bring them carrots, parsnips and beet and stuff now. So a few of these different things have changed. Pig pasture's the same. Pretty sure. Place to keep your pigs. Yeah, it's not. Garage to store your vehicles and tools. A place to keep your pigs. Something a little bit different. And then sheep, chickens. Chickens are quite cool with the different pastures we've got there, and we've got some ones we can adjust. Like I say, not a deep dive. Bees, we've got some different beehives, and we've also got a beehive honey pallet location. And then dogs, we have got a new dog pen, but you are still only allowed one. It's a different looking dog as well. Only one item allowed per farm for that. Right, next up we've got fences. Thank you. So under our fences, again, this is where things are a little bit different. So, for example, if we place our pole, we start doing our fence, that's all well and good. Very happy with that. If I stop there, if you notice on that menu, it says switch segment type. So if I switch segment type, that gives me the option for a gate. So from there, if I do that, it puts the gate. But what's cool with this option now as well, so I can put a gate in. So you haven't got separate fences and separate gates. Not all fences have a gate option. Again, be careful. Look at that menu. If it says switch segment type, that will give you an option for a gate. But what it also says, as soon as you go on that above it, it says reverse. If I press reverse up on the D-pad, so you can switch which direction the gate opens or closes in that same menu. Very cool. Like that a lot. You can delete the last segment if you want to. If I place that, cool. If I go back to our segment and carry on, I carry on with my fence. Everyone's happy. Delete last segment. Why isn't it deleted? That's interesting. Oh, okay. So if I've placed it like now, if I press X and think, oh, I didn't want to do that. If I delete last segment R3, it takes that back off and allows me to move it again. So if I put it in the wrong place, so I don't have to completely delete the segment, it just means I've then got the ability to readjust it. That's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing until I just saw that and thought, let's check it. Why not? It's all part of me doing these guides. Look at, you learn along with me. It's all very cool, isn't it? So again, if we go to the next one, for example, why is that not changing now? There we go. The next fence section. If I place the next fence and go along, that doesn't give me an option to change segment type. So there's not a gate that comes with that one. And that'll be the same thing. If we go through the various different fences and gates and walls and stuff, have a look at the menu. See, that one says switch segment. If I switch segment, I can go for that. What's cool about this one, let's go that way. Hang on. Right, so like that. And then reverse. So depending on the wall section, gate section, door section, it's very cool. I like that. That's brilliant. So again, have a look through. You're going to find various different ones with various different options. But if you're wondering where the gates are, that's why. I like the fact you can reverse them. I like the fact you can go back. So next up, we've got lights. Lights are the same as they were before. There's no customization options that I found to any of the lights, but all the various different lights are there to have a look at and have a fiddle around with. And then we come to others. Now others has got a different section as well. If we come down to others, I think some of these have got a customization option. Not many, to be fair. Let's see if we've got one on here. I don't think we have. I don't think there's many on here that have an option for customizing. Depends if it's got a sort of flat side. No. That one might have. Nope. But if we come further down, this one does. I know this one does. So that's customization option. Again, this one is just for solar panels, yes or no. If you want the no color option on that, take that off. But we get further down. I said about the buildables menu. In others, if we come down here, we've got these. So we've got some more buildables. So that said, this building comes as a kit, must first be assembled to deliver the required materials to the construction site, a purely decorative object. So if you wanted to go through that process, if you're doing a story and you want to build a barn, you know, this, like I say, this was something that myself and VF talked about when we were at FarmCon 24. Would it be a thing, you know? Let's put it there. Fences that off, and then when you come over to it, the same as it was for the buildable object over there. Required wood beam planks, long planks. Bring your stuff, and it will gradually build the shed. That's cool. I love that. That's a really, really cool feature. Very nice indeed. Back to our menu. So that's under others, and then finally we kind of already had a look at that. The sculpting. What's next on there though? Let's go across and up. Is painting. So painting textures. I mean, they're pretty much the same as they were. We've got a few, but what I like, we've got some additional ones here. Sorry. We've got some additional ones. We've got rock, we've got flagstones and cobblestones, and I mean there's been plenty of modders that have done these, but I like the fact these have been put in now. Having those as base game stuff, that's interesting to really go a bit bigger. There we go. Flagstones and cobblestones, nice feature like that. We can change our brush size, cursor size, all the rest of it. Now, if we come from there to trees. Now, trees menu, slightly different again. So rather than having each tree and then each different size of tree, we've got some options on the menu, and this is pretty cool. So we've got old American elm. I'm not going to go through every single tree type, but old American elm, old aspen, we've got Betula amani, is it? Large cherry, box elder, Chinese elms. There's a whole load. Tons to choose from, which is really, very, very cool. Let's, for example, go for the large box elder. It's a big old beauty. Look at that. But look in the menu. In here, rather than having loads of different sizes of tree to pick from, we can change the tree size here. So on the D-pad, we can go down to there and we can go through the various different tree sizes. Left or right on the D-pad goes to the different tree sizes. So you pick your tree size using the D-pad in here rather than loads of different options. I like that. You've also got our rotation. So L1, we can rotate our tree around, but there's also an option just above that. It says rotate randomly. So if you're placing 3 or 4 or 5 trees and you don't want them all to look the same and in the same configuration, if I just press triangle now, it just randomly moves the tree to a different position. So you haven't even got to bother pressing down on L1. You can just tap. You can just Tap rotate randomly by pressing triangle. That's a cool option. I like that, and I like the fact we've got change tree size in there as well. There are different ones that have different, I think, more options for the tree. Like for example, that one, that's an absolute monster, the old American elm. But we can go through the various different tree sizes right the way down. I don't know if they even put a sapling in the ground. Was that nothing? That's a bit of, oh no, it's a tiny little sapling. That's pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do is place one. Does it give me the option? No, once it's placed, isn't it? Now, enter demolition mode. Will it allow me to remove the tree? Ah. Now, I did wonder, because I had the same thing with the plants. So that's something to be aware of. It's not giving me the option to demolish that tree at all. So again, save the game. If you're going to place it, be careful where you place it, because it may not allow you to remove it. Yeah. Something to be aware of. Right. So, next up, plants. Now, again, plants, slightly different. We've got 3 different heights of meadow grass now. So we've got meadow, meadow, and meadow. So 3 different lengths. Bushes are different. Bushes, we used to place them sort of individually or little clumps and that kind of thing. But we can actually change the brush size for our bushes. I mean, you could do it a little bit to a degree, but it was more individual bushes. You clicked on the bush you wanted, it would put them in little clumps, and you would drag it. What we can do now, if we change our brush size up and change it to a circle, for example, and I'm on that bush, bang, we can just put a whole load of bushes in one hit. But again, with this, I think, got to be careful here. If I come out of there and go to demolish, it won't let me demolish them. I can't remove them. So I'm pressing on that, nothing for demolish. But if I come back out of there, go back onto this, you notice it says remove. It says place item and it says remove. So if I go back out again and open that right back out, and I press remove now, my demolish tool is under the actual plant type itself, not under demolish. I don't know if that will get tweaked or changed. It's strange that it's there, but it does say remove. So I suppose, again, if I place it and think, oh no, I didn't want that there, if I press square straight away, I can remove it, or most of it anyway. So we've got add and remove, and then the different sizes of various different things, and we roll through and we've got, again, there's all different sorts of bushes and trees, and we haven't got any nettles, have we? I don't think. Again, let's change the brush size, go square on that one. Wow, okay, that's something a bit different, isn't it? So we can go individual, we can go multiple. A few different things to be getting your head around and having a look at. So, the new build mode menus, the new options. Like I say, I've got some deep dives to do on animal pens. I've got deep dives to do on the buildable buildings, construction. So I want to really do that properly, do it justice, and I can't fit all that into this video. I hope that what I've shown you will help you if you've been stuck on any of the menus, or you might just watch this just to give you a bit of a heads up before you start. That's absolutely fantastic. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.